Awesome, awesome. Yeah, thanks for nothing. Thanks for nothing. Bye. This is how we do it. How you doing, Trump? I'm doing good. I love you, man. I love you. Yeah, thanks for nothing. Thanks for nothing. I got my whole family support for 2024. Oh, really good. Whole family. That's appreciate you. Your family's good, right? Yes, sir. We're all blue collar. No. Why? Don't jump.
Okay, folks, so you know that the powers that be, they absolutely, utterly loathe everyone but themselves. We know that. If you don't think your government hates you, just give it 6 months. You know what I mean? So here's the thing. Joe Biden, since he's shown his contempt thoroughly for the American people by his actions and the actions of his cabinet, and that shit-eating grin that he has on his face when he basically knows that he's ripping you off and stealing your money and stealing and selling the strategic oil reserves to China, our foe. Well, you get this sort of reaction as you saw versus Trump, who truly is. You don't have to love the guy. You don't have to be his best buddy, whatever, is a man of the people. Yeah, he is. He's got his rough edges, but he still is. And I have to say, I think his footage is pretty awesome of him going into the Chick-fil-A, people laughing, people hugging him, going to Harlem, going to New York, and going to the bodega where that Dominican guy got... defended himself and then was sent to jail, and then Alvin Bragg, the weasel, dropped the case because there was so much uproar because the guy was defending himself and the bodega, his shop. And so here we are. Joe Biden's painfully awkward trip to the gas station, and it is such a contrast, isn't it? It is such a contrast. And the thing that kills me about this, too, is that Biden, when he gets offended when he actually realizes what... Once in a while, there's a little crack, and he actually sees what regular people think of him. He actually acts all offended. He acts all butthurt, and he's like, but why? I'm great. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you do live in a cocoon, man. A cocoon of people that tell you you're great all the time, when in reality, 95% of the country can't stand you. It's true, they just can't stand this nasty old guy. So Joe Biden had quite the day on Wednesday, and that's saying something for the often confused president traveling to Pennsylvania to once again pander to the working class, right? Don't ever make the mistake of thinking Democrats love the working class. They absolutely loathe the working class. That myth is gone and disappeared down the drain now. He has no actual connection to the working class. We know that. He always tells different stories about an 18-wheel truck. He was driving an 18-wheeler for several years. He was all these things that have never been true. The guy hasn't actually worked in a day of his life. And he's got the Bernie Sanders syndrome. It's just like they actually don't understand the value of a dollar, and they don't understand what real work is, like what goes into it, the details. They like to avoid those annoying details. The details get in the way of their narrative, folks, so stop with the details. So he decided to tell a made-up story. Oh yeah, the other day about his uncle supposedly being eaten by cannibals. That's for another time. I'll make another video on that cannibal thing. Yeah. Yes, we are at the point where he's now slandering people from Papua New Guinea in his pursuit of clout. What's new? The reverse Forrest Gump strikes again. The president also let his senility get the best of him while attempting to throw Israel under the bus again in a mind numbing pronouncement. Biden claimed that he told Israel, don't move on Haifa, or Haifa, however you say that. There's just one problem. Haifa is an Israeli city in the northern portion of the country, nowhere near Gaza. Wow. And it tells you the competence of his toadies, his posse, is that they have one ambition, pure power, but they don't really have an interest in the details, So they don't care at this point. They don't care about the details. It shows you that they're coming out of the darkness and into the light. They're being brazen. They don't even care if they get stuff right or wrong anymore. And so that wasn't the end of it, though. Biden then showed up at the gas station, of which you saw in what can only be described as, I'm going to turn that off, as painfully awkward and a highly concerning visit. And it's the first person he zones in on is a 5-year-old girl. Well, that says everything, Joe, right? It's echoes of Ashley, right? And all the kid sniffing that he's known for. And these workers are like, well, I can barely afford my apartment. I'm living in my car. And I'm just going to smile because that's what you're supposed to do when the Secret Service, who has guns, that's what you're supposed to do when they're around. Anyway, walking in flanked by Secret Service agents, no one seems especially impressed to see Biden. There's no large crowd and no one expressing support like you see when Donald Trump visits a public establishment. After slowly meandering to the counter, the president does manage to get one person to take a selfie with him. Well, that's compliance. That's malicious compliance. You better take a damn selfie with me, or I've got some agents who are going to take you outside and talk to you, or we'll just come later next time the IRS does an audit and we'll gut you 2 ways from Sunday financially, even though you make $10 an hour. So he then turns around and walks out. The entire visit took around 2 minutes. As a political matter, this was a box-checking exercise and an ill-advised one at that. Anyway, you get the point. So, I don't know. Look at the way he walks. It kind of talks about this in this article. His arms barely move to the point where you can tell he's actively thinking about moving them to look more normal. That is so interesting. Never mind the short, choppy steps he takes at a pace that would lose a race to a sloth. Mentally, he genuinely looks like he doesn't know where he's at or why he's there. His handlers probably just pointed what direction to walk, and he ended up in a gas station. Then, when confronted by a reporter on a policy question related to China, he told them, don't jump. Jump from where? How does this man make it another 4 years if he's reelected? There has never been a president who sought a second term in this condition. So here's the thing. And James O'Keefe just did an undercover thing with a guy who's a deputy secretary or deputy assistant to the Secretary of Small Business Housing. Okay, just federal mumbo jumbo title organization. And this guy revealed, he says, oh, the people with the real power in Washington are these no names, and he named them, like Zeist, Ziest, and a couple other people. I go on X and take a look. I suggest you look at that. I'd have to do whole other video on that. But he named a couple of people, and they were people like, I was sitting there going, what? And on the date, this person who was doing the hidden camera footage said, whoa, so are these the people that run the country? And he goes, yeah, essentially. I mean, they run everything. And mainly they're like people who do economic policy. They're people who were like, one of them was an asset fund manager at one time on Wall Street. All these people, and then they're calling the shots. And he said Zeist was like the second most powerful person in Washington. And the person was like, but nobody elected these people. And he's like, yeah, nobody did, but they've been around for a long time. So it revealed what we suspected in the first place. It's just now we have a few names to go with what's going on, to attach to the actual patterns that are actually occurring in the country right now. Anyway, enough of that. You get the point. People have plenty to say about that. You can look up more on that, but that's just basically the commentary on the contrast between Trump and Biden and what a stark difference this is. But I don't know, when you look like this and you've had your ears pulled back and pinned up and you've had your face pulled taut and you've been injected with amphetamines about 4 or 5 times a day and then some downers to take a nap or something, it's no wonder this guy goes to the beach all the time. He's got to rest from all the, roller coaster ride that he does with all the drugs. So anyway, yeah, he's a mess. So anyway, folks, that's that for now. But let me know what you think. Please put a like on the video if you like it, and please subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.